Hey everybody, Clay Motley here. Thanks for joining me on this channel. I am going to do something a little bit different. I'm not really the sort of gear review person. I don't do that a whole lot, but I do want to start to share with budding musicians, up and coming singer-songwriters or performers, what are some things that you can take with you? And I would love for you to share with me. If you're a performing singer-songwriter or musician, tell me some of these things that you use too, so we can kind of grow the community and kind of learn from our collective experience. So to that end, I want to introduce you to the TC Helicon V100. I found this online, thought it looked great, bought it, tried it out, and I'm really happy with it. It's 2 channels, so you can plug in a microphone and a guitar. And because it's TC Helicon, there's a number of built-in features that are amazing to have in a single unit amp. A lot of the things that are here, I was having to bring a separate pedal board, which is fine, I loved it, but it's one more thing to have to carry and to lug in and make multiple trips. And if I can do, especially these smaller venues and smaller shows, with less gear and less trips to come in, less things to go wrong, that's what I want to try to do and what I want to share with you all. So let's take a look at this amp. First of all, it's a single speaker amp. However, there are tweeters built in here to the top, which you can choose to turn on or off in the back. So while you have this playing beside you to your audience, there's some sound coming straight up from the top that you can hear what's going on. You don't have to be sort of in front of it. You can be if you want, but you've got a little bit more sound. That's a great feature to use. On top, you'll see there are 2 channels, a mic input and a guitar input. They're both combo jacks, so you can use either XLR or 1/4-inch cables for either one. If we look across the top of this mic channel, channel 1 here, there's phantom power you can choose to have on or off, which is great. If you don't have phantom option and you're trying to go direct into an amp, you're limited on the number of microphones that you can use, because if they require phantom power, you can't really get it anywhere else. So you can use your SM58s and your standard mics, but if you have something a little bit nicer, you can bring that too and not have to worry about having some other sort of power from it. Below that is a talk button. Now the talk button, what it does is it gets rid of all the effects and just makes it so you can talk to your audience. And I'll show you another way we're going to access that later. Then there's your volume button, your volume knob for this channel, an anti-feedback button that automatically finds the feedback and gets rid of that frequency. Your next few are how it processes, and this is kind of the cool thing here. The adaptive tone is a knob that you can control that applies several things to your vocal channel. A little compression, a little EQ fix, so you can do a lot of different things to it. I tend to keep mine right about the halfway point. There's a notch you can feel when you turn it, and so that's where I keep mine. It sounds really good. I don't really overdo it. I kind of see it right there at halfway, and it sounds great coming out of the speaker. The next one is a pitch correction knob. To be honest, I haven't used this a whole lot. Not to say I couldn't use it, but I just have chosen not to, but it's here, so I keep it off, but you can turn this on. The next one is what I loved about having this built in, and that's a harmonizer. So when you see the knob, you've got several different options. You can go 1 below, 2 below, 1 above, 1 below, 2 above, 1 below. You've got your choices of different harmonies for your vocal. And if you know TC Helicon, they have a harmony pedal, the Harmony Singer that I've used for years. That's what's on my pedal board. It's great. It takes what you play on the guitar, and based on what you sing and the chord you're playing, it creates a harmony note. So if you're singing a note, you want to create a third above that, but then your guitar playing switches to a minor, that harmony is going to switch to that note too, if that's what it does, if that's what the chord wants it to do. So it's great. Now it's built into the amp. And because you've got your guitar plugged into the same amp, you don't need the 2 pedals running on the floor. You can do it from right here. So this is one of the things I love about it. After that, there's a level. You can control how much of that harmony comes out of the speaker. You've got the harmony button to turn it on or off, and I'll show you how we're going to do that later. And then you've got your reverb selections and an echo or delay kind of options that you can turn on and off. You can choose which one you want and how much you have. There's a few options for each of those. On the guitar line, again, the combo jack, then you've got a tuner that's always on. So even if you're playing, you can see what note might be coming out. It doesn't tune all the notes at once. You've got to just play one string at a time, like most of your tuners. But then there is a mute button that you can hit to mute the sound while you tune. So that's there. Your volume channel for your guitar itself. Then you have anti-feedback and a body res option. The body res sort of takes some sampled sounds to make that piezo sound a little bit better. So if you're plugging your guitar from a piezo pickup, go through these cycles. You'll cycle through a few. You'll see it change color as you do it. And so it'll go from red to blue to green to off. And so you can pick the one that that you think sounds the best for your guitar. You've got your 3-band EQ, bass, mid, and treble, followed by a chorus and a reverb and an echo, and all of those have a couple of different options and the amounts that you want to add to it. The last knob over here is the master volume knob to turn everything up or down. And right before that, in this brown section here, is the looper pedal. Again, something built into the amp that you don't have to carry around on a board anymore. The looper function, you can choose to loop just the vocal, just the guitar, or a combination of both. Now I tend to just loop guitar, but you have that option to do both. And then there's a tap, tempo, stop, start, and play buttons below it. So great features built into this amp that used to have to be applied on a pedal board. So if I don't have to bring a pedal board and I can just bring this, that's what I want to do, especially starting out when you're carrying everything yourselves. On the back, you've got your power knob, your power switch, and your button. There is a USB out for recording, so if you want to track out, record your 2 channels, you can do that here. You can, this MIDI, it looks like a MIDI option, I think it is a MIDI cable actually, connects to a foot switch, which we're going to talk about in a second. This is the switch for the tweeter top to have volume coming out the top of the amp. You've got 2 direct outs, one for each channel, and you can choose to have it as direct with effects or a mix of the signals. And then you've got an aux in if you're playing along with a MP3 player or something like that. So let's talk about this pedal. It comes with the amp, TC Helicon. 4 different options that you have here. So you've got your harmony option for your vocals. You can choose to turn it on or off wherever you want. So when you turn it on, whatever you're playing, the chords will be created right here. You can turn on and off your vocal effects. So if you're singing with a lot of reverb or delay, but when you want to talk to the audience, you don't want that on there, you simply turn it off to talk, turn it back on when you're ready to sing. Guitar effects the same way. If you've got your reverbs and delays and all that, you can turn them off and turn them back on however you want to. Finally, the looper pedal, how it works is you simply step on it once and play along. When you're done recording, as soon as you hit stop, it'll turn green and your loop will continue to play over and over and over again. It will do that until you can hit loop and add another layer. It's recording now, it's adding a second layer, loop it again, now you have that going. When you're ready to stop the loop, you simply hit it twice, and you'll see it's blinking green. So that means there's a loop in there, but it's not playing. You can press once to start to play, press again to record, and continue looping until you fill up. I've never filled up the memory that's on here, so I don't know how long it actually goes. When you're ready to erase it, you simply hit it twice and hold, and it deletes in about 1.5 seconds or so. It's really quick to delete. That could be good or bad, but for a single button looper, this works really, really well, and I do like how fast it deletes so that you can keep on, go to the next song, get ready to go. So this comes with the amp. It wasn't an additional thing. At least it came with the V100, and so it's a great thing. And like I said before, the cable is plenty long. So great amp, great for the individual players. The beauty of this too, with the direct outs that we talked about before, is that if you are on stage with a bigger band or in a festival kind of setting, this can be your stage monitor. You can turn this around to face you directly and go direct out to your front of house, to your board. So that's the TC Helicon V100. I really like it. I've been using it in a lot of my smaller shows and have been really happy with it. It doesn't come with a case or even a bag or anything. That's one downside. I wish it came with something. So because it didn't though, I went and bought an SKB case with the full foam. And I cut out the section for this to fit in perfectly, so it fits in nice. It sits on the bottom of where the case would be upright on its feet. And then there's padding along the sides and across the top. And then I cut out another section across the top to put the pedal in, a microphone, cables, power cable, anything I need. So literally when it's time to go to a show, I grab this case, my guitar, and a mic stand, and that's it, and I'm out the door. Everything else sits in the case and it's ready to go. So let me know what you enjoy. What are the pieces of equipment that really make your job easier as an independent musician? And if you like what you hear, please subscribe, follow, but also check me out on your streaming platforms, Clay Motley and Clay Motley Band. Hopefully you like the music that you hear there, and if you do, give it a like, give it a listen, share it with friends. We'll see you next time.